Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to season 1, episode 1 of Walking Around the World with me as I document this journey through our planet Earth and document week by week the stories, feelings, adventures, lessons, and the beauty that this walk to love is about. Right now, I'm in Portugal, in the south, in a secret beach. You gotta DM me if you want the location. It's a secret, and it's cool to keep it quite secret. But it's a beautiful place, so everyone deserves to see this too. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk about the beginning of this walk, and it's been the first week since I started to walk around the world. To give you some context, I'm Emil Claesson, I'm 24-year-old, and my dream is to walk around the world. I started to walk around the world 1 week ago, and I decided the spot to begin would be Portugal. So there's a point in Portugal, it's called Cabo San Vicente, and it's the most southwestern point in Europe. So basically starting from most southwestern point in Europe and then doing the route is not planned. So I don't know, it won't be a straight line around the world, and it will definitely not be rushed. So I don't know how many years it will take. The route is partially planned for the next couple of months, that's it. As synchronicities and spontaneity happens, I want to keep it open for whatever happens, and for the magic of life to happen, because normally if you have traveled before, you can probably relate that when you try to happen, when you try to plan something, sorry, there was some dogs barking down the beach. When you try to plan something, things can happen, but most of things don't happen. And when you just sort of like let it be, let it go, and not try to control every situation, I think you're able to enjoy the experience much more. Then I'm a vote for planning and having structure and being organized is very important, but where is the balance? So the route right now is heading north to North Portugal and then North Spain into south of France. And my goal for the end of the year, or for exactly 1 year, would be to be in Turkey. If I feel like that's too rushed, then it would probably take a bit more. But that's the first milestone, and the first continent to walk is Europe. Then it would be Asia. It would be after Oceania. Then after Oceania, I would do Americas, North and South. And then I've been thinking about doing Antarctica, but that's probably in like a couple of years. That would be cool because that's a continent too. And then Antarctica into Cape Town, and then Africa to finish. So that would be the 7 continents that I'm planning to walk, to see this world, to experience this world, to really take advantage of what this playground is, what there is to see, all the perspectives, peoples that I yet have to meet, and that's what you are gonna be watching in this channel. Tuning in, subscribing, supporting this journey means so much. So I appreciate you already watching this. The best way you can support me is to watch this, to listen, to engage with me, and to share your love and experiences as well, the challenges that you are going through, what is your walk around the world. And I would love to listen, to help you to start your dream, because just exactly 1 week ago I started the biggest dream of my life, something that I thought I wouldn't do for another 20 years. I thought I wouldn't be ready for this yet, and I about 2 years ago, this idea came to mind, and I said, when I'm something 30 something, I can start. Not yet. And then I had a beautiful realization that you're always never probably gonna feel like you're ready, like you have all the equipment. You can prepare yourself, but you just gotta go, and this decision relies a lot in considering death, not taking life for granted, and seeing that death is there, and death happens to all of us, and it is real. As much as life is, there is death. So if I can do something with this gift that I have before I die, then let's do it now, because there's no better place to start now. So coming from that perspective, I decided, let's go. Let's go, because no one guarantees you that at 40 you're still alive, brother. So whatever you're dreaming of, do it now. Start it now. Go for it. Dream big. Make it happen. See how the world is working for you. See how all the forces, people, nature want you to do it. And realize that the only one blocking you from doing it is you. It is your fears, your limitations, your beliefs that are also not even true. It is all in your mind. But yet that's also a big reason I'm doing this, because I still have that in mind, but you gotta start with it in mind. It's okay. It's okay to do it with fear. It's okay to do it with doubt. It's okay to start unprepared. It's okay to start overwhelmed. It's okay to start feeling whatever you're feeling. It's okay. Just allow it and do it and start it. Take that first step. And I want to start this chapter, taking a deep breath. For you guys tuning in to be present, and as I continue to share the very first moment, all emotions, let's take a deep breath together. Thank you for tuning in to the present moment with me and being here. I love you. Thank you for supporting me. And continuing I would like to start this conversation with you, talking into how it felt from the very beginning in the days previous that. I did not document anything previous to the start. I kept it very low-key, just between close friendships. I said it and I told them, but out there in socials, I kept it low-key until I was gonna start. And to be honest, I've been planning this for the last year, planning in my mind, nothing fancy like a document or anything, forget that. Just planning a deadline, having some things in mind what I need to have as an equipment, and some sort of clue of where I wanted to start. That's all I had. And I set myself deadlines to move on towards this goal and dream. And I told myself I want to start in Sagres. This point of the earth has been very special to me in the past years. I've been here a lot, surfing, feeling this area and feeling the nature here, and it's just so pure. And I wanted to start from this point, so I knew, okay, all I need to do is get to Sagres and see how things unfold on the way. And preparing everything in Finland to drive the van. So for those of you that didn't know, I used to live in Finland for 1 year last year. And I have a van that I bought 2 years ago. That was another big dream. and we had a leak on it, and we fixed it, and we prepared everything to depart. In November the 2nd, we departed Finland into heading south. We crossed a couple of countries, and we were in Spain the 2nd of December, where I visited my family for Christmas, and January. And it felt super nice. It felt super comfortable to be there. And there was always something to do until I realized, I gotta put a deadline for myself to keep moving forward, As much as I didn't want to rush the beginning, but I also felt how the more I also tune into this comfortability of, letting it go away, it felt like it was just not gonna happen. So I said, okay, put a deadline, to have that in mind. If it doesn't happen exactly the same day, be flexible and open for it to be changed. But give yourself a direction. And that's really what a deadline is for me, is, okay, there is a direction, like a arrow pointing in a way that I need to head. Doesn't matter really how long it takes, but I know a little certain pace I want to take towards that direction. And if I can take a step every day, I'm going to get there. And that's what it was. I told my family that I was going to go to Portugal. And I told my father that I was going to walk around the world. And that was very tough conversation. There was a lot of support, but at the same time, a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, a lot of, do you really want to do this? Do you really need to do this? Isn't there something else? And there was parts of me and some parts of this acceptance, that I felt non-accepted by the confirmation from family to make this dream happen, and that was really tough. But then I realized that all I need to do is to accept myself and to believe in myself, and that as long as I have the belief that I am enough, not the belief, the knowingness that I am enough, by the simple fact of being born here, I can do it, and I can take the choice, and I can accept myself doing that without the approval of some loved ones, And so moving forward, got to Portugal, felt myself procrastinating this walk by the beauty and the places and spots that we found on the way to Sagres, which is the very edge of Portugal. And day by day, ordering the equipment, I ordered the whole cart, by Amazon. Everything was ordered by Amazon. As we stood in a Lidl, because we didn't have an address to order everything, and Amazon came there. I ordered the cart, cooking stuff like the gas, some lanterns, flashlights, and just really having a list of maybe like 20 things, small but some big, that I would need as very important. And to be honest, you could literally walk around the world without anything, but that would be quite tough, That would mean that you would really need to rely on people and on maybe like being in villages and stuff, because also it depends on the time of the year. So I wanted to bring the things that I could sustain being alone for a long time out in the wilderness, and also do it by myself. And of course, I still think that I sometimes need to learn to ask for help when there is cases. And I think that's something I will learn, and I'm learning. And it is very interesting. So made the list of the equipment. I thought it was crucial, like first aid kit, lamps, food, basic survival things. Put it in a list, ordered on Amazon. I had already sleeping bag and tent. And then once everything was there, I was like, shit, this is unreal. This is actually happening. And And then we were in Sagres, and I was here for a week. And I was just like, yeah, enjoying. I was surfing. I was, finding beaches like this one and just surfing and disconnecting. And I was like enjoying fully. And I was like, fuck, I could stay here months. And I realized, like, you came here for something. And I'm glad you're enjoying the journey, because I think it's a lot about it. But you also came here for something, so don't forget that, what you came here for, So I checked the weather. It was gonna rain the next week. I was like, anyways, let's start it. Let's go for it. This is the day I'm gonna start. And the day came, I didn't start. And I said, okay, I start tomorrow. And I didn't start tomorrow. And then the next day after that, I was like, today I'm gonna start. I told Annika, my girlfriend, and I told her, I'm gonna start tomorrow. So, for real, for real, for real. I'm not just talking this time. Tomorrow I'm starting. And I remember the feeling the morning I woke up, 8 in the morning, we drove the van to Cabo San Vicente. It was one of the windiest days I've experienced, meaning the whole van was shaking, and I was just laser focused to set and prepare everything up. We arrived at 10, I was ready 3 hours later. And I said bye to Annika, and I started to walk, and there was this huge feeling of ecstasy, of dream accomplishment. And I want to talk about this feeling because it's a great feeling that those who chase their dreams will feel. So not many people will actually feel this, because most people get caught up on the fear of starting, on the fear of doubt. But I want to explain to you this feeling, because it's one of the greatest feelings you could ever have and experience. Because it feels like now, as you listen to me, you're living a life that could be familiar to you, a life where you have a routine, you know where you're going, you know where you are. Or maybe you're not, maybe you're already doing this like me. But for me, that was the van, that was the routine there, that was the comfortability of also having my partner and the dogs, and having the known, the familiar, stepping into less than 24 hours into something, just having everything I need in a little cart and starting to walk direction unknown. With the dream of a kid that dreamed of walking around the world, to discover this planet, to just escape and discover and remember and see, to realize something within himself. And it all came at that point where I started to walk, and I felt this huge amount of freedom, but at the same time this huge amount of nervousness, sadness, anger. It was just like if you put every emotion into like a mixer, and you just press on and you mix it and you drink all those emotions, and it just felt like all at once. And I felt like crying, I felt gratitude, I felt love, I felt ecstasy, I felt so many things. And after that, it was like a step into fear. All my fears came. What if this? What if that? What if I lose this? What if I lose that? What if I... Na 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 na. So many stories from people, from things that I've read, from my own thinking, coming in just that moment and not letting me enjoy the present moment. And then just after that, it was like a deep breath, and then tuning into the craziest landscape ever, and just being present with nature, completely alone, and seeing the beauty that was once an imagination that now was manifested in front of me. And that was crazy. That was crazy, man. That was crazy. Wow. Whew, yeah, that was, I can feel it now as well. Wow. Crazy. And guys, I love you. Thank you for listening, really. Ah, wow. Mm. And then tuning back to that moment, feeling so grateful, and then finding a spot to sleep for the night, the first night out in the wilderness camping. And the next morning, I did a video like this where I just needed to take out things. I needed to, hey, there's some dogs there. I don't know if you guys can see. They're there. Hello, hey, hey. So the next couple of days, in the morning, there was this deep feeling of loneliness, of, the mind feeling deeply alone, like abandoned in the world. Family, everyone non-existent, just abandoned in a spot in the world, completely alone. That's how it felt. And I needed to talk it out, and I recorded a video where I just expressed all the emotions that I was feeling. And I knew that I just needed to talk it out and feel them, listen to them. And this is where a great lesson came as well, to, whatever you're feeling right now, whether it be happiness, joy, anger, sadness, lonely, tune into that emotion. Really feel it, really listen to it. Listen to it. Talk out the story. The story doesn't matter so much. The story is creating the emotion, but the emotion needs to be heard, because it's a part of you that wants to be listened. And sometimes we just want to ignore them because we think that they are bad. That, no, I don't want to feel this way. We reject them. And when you do that, it's like rejecting a friend that just wants to talk to you, that maybe just wants to put his head there and cry, that maybe just, wants to explain something. And you got to do that with yourself. And this is one of the first lessons for this walk to love, to listening to myself, to tuning to those emotions, to loving myself so much that I can listen to the emotions, to those parts of the mind that want to be listened to. And I listened to them, and I cried and I laughed, and that's how it was expressed out. That's how this energy moved out. And there was a deep breath, and all the tension and overwhelm just, and you could see all my shoulders relax, and just tune into, okay, it's fine. It's fine. You're okay. You're not alone. You forgot. You just needed to remember that you're not separated from all this nature, from the sun, the beach, the water. It is all you in different forms and shape, and you just had forgotten. You had forgotten that, and you were playing a story in your mind, and it's okay. But you felt it, you listened, you learned. Now let's move on. And walking into day 2, experienced very hard challenges with the weather, very windy. We had a week of storm in Portugal. It was crazy storm with 4-meter waves, thunder, winds, like, I don't know the measurements of winds, but strong fucking winds, almost blowing the tent while I was inside. Also learned to maybe choose better spots to put the tent in windy days. And it was like every day I was learning something, but just trying, you know. And as soon as you start, you start to learn. So that's what I mean. Like I felt, okay, I prepared myself, but as the journey, the road teaches me. And so get started and you will learn. Get started and ask. Get started and research. Get started and let's do it. And it's fine if you're not prepared, if you don't feel the best, it's okay. I procrastinated so many days, but at least start. Give yourself the chance, at least, you know. Be loving to yourself, forgive yourself, allow, and practice that love with yourself, really. And that's, you know, this journey's gotta be for me that, because I gotta be my biggest support. Whenever I fuck up, I gotta be okay. What do you learn from this? Move on, forgive. I can't blame myself for not knowing any better. I just can learn, because otherwise if I get stuck in the blame, in the hate towards myself, that's not gonna move anywhere, and that's not gonna move anyone. That's not what the walk is for. The walk to love is not for that. So stepping into day 2, there was many synchronicities that happened. I met a friend up in the mountains like this. They decided to camp in a mountain, and a friend was with a van there. I didn't even know. We met in some beach like this, and he was there. He's a musician, and we exchanged contacts, and he was like, "You want some dinner?" and uh, and yeah, I accepted. I was editing, and as soon as I started finishing editing, and I was gonna go have dinner with him, I see some lights outside the tent. It's like a van, and I open the tent, and these lights are blinding me, and I think it's him picking me up to go have dinner in his van. I'm like, oh, this is luxurious, you know what I'm saying? And then I step outside, I come closer, and as soon as I come closer, I stop getting blurred, and I see that it's my van. And I was like, what is my van doing here? And then I check the window, and it's Annika and the dogs. And it was like, what are the odds that we meet in the middle of nowhere in some road in south of Portugal? And the backstory behind this is me and Annika agreed to, because she's traveling with the van and I decided to walk. And we are planning to meet every 3 to 4 days in spots, and then I take 2 to 3 days off the walk to reset, to be with her, and to experience spots like this, to just stay. And so we agreed on that, and we agreed that, you know, every night before I go sleep, I would send her a location. Just that this night, I wasn't yet gonna go to sleep, so I hadn't reached out to her, any location, anything. And there she was, you know, she was going down to the beach from the mountain, and she happened to see a tent, and he was like, in a little car, he's like, that's him, and she peeped, and that feeling was amazing, you know, because I think that's maybe lesson number 3, you know. Traveling together with your partner in a van, it can be very intense. And sometimes there is a long tension, you know, uh, and the victim mode comes up, you know. And in the walk, as soon as I was alone, there was the biggest sense and feeling of gratitude towards her and towards my family, because the feeling of that I had of being alone made me appreciate that I had loved people, loved ones. And sometimes it's funny because life teaches you certain things. you learn the opposite by being in the opposite. It's kind of like you learn to appreciate things when you don't have them, right? But once we learn them, we can keep appreciating them. And this is the lesson. I was like, how can I take this partnership for granted? How can I sometimes just be like, I want to be alone and maybe not feel the most grateful for? And in the walk, I felt so grateful of having someone like Annika that has supported me all this way to realize a dream that is crazy, that if I would tell anyone else, it would be like, what the fuck, That's not what I'm planning to do, and I don't see the alignment. But she has been so supportive until the very beginning and still now. So it's so crazy as well in this moment of seeing her and the dogs. I was just like, wow. I felt like rescued. I felt like I was in a 5-star hotel in the van eating dinner. And at the end, with this friend that I met, he had had a little hard day, so he decided not to join for dinner or to continue with the dinner plan. And we just had dinner in the mountains there. Packed up the tent, went into the van, slept there, and then the next day I walked again, and she stayed around there. But it was a deep moment of synchronicities that happened there, an alignment, of just, when you are in certain spots with certain energy and frequencies, you meet people there, and happened to be Annika. So that was a really, really cool moment. Even if it was just 48 hours after, I was like so grateful to see her, to have, like, I don't know, camping in the wilderness 2 days with rough wind and rain. It hit me hard the first days to start the journey like that. I think life was telling me, are you ready? Are you ready? Get prepared, Learn, be open, adapt, learn, think wisely, reflect. So it was teaching me a lot of things, and yeah, I was able to be grateful for them. And then moving on, the next couple of days it was raining, so then the third day I walked. I decided to stop and walked about 30 kilometers in these 3 days. Really off-road into the mountains, not really like next to cars in the road. I wanted to experience the nature, the mountains, and really seeing places like this. Like you would arrive after a beach and come to the top of a cliff and just see a new beach, and it was like you close the chapter and you open the new one. You continued on a road and suddenly like the whole landscape changed from forest into plain farm, or from forest into beach, and discovering places that driving or flying on plane you wouldn't see, and that's one of the reasons I walk, because I really want to see slowly and pay attention and to the things around me, to all the flowers, the bird sounds, the weather conditions, the clouds, everything is communicating with you. The birds are telling you something when they're flying away, and then you can see the cloud is coming, they're flying away because they're telling you the rain is coming, and they're preparing you. And then you can see the clouds there, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get prepared. And you sort of start to read this book called life, that we've been so disconnected from. We haven't touched this, we haven't learned to read, to experience, to really be in it. And this is what the first week of walking has been, to embrace it all, embrace all the nature, being outside, coming back to roots, to beingness, meeting really cool people as well, other walkers and dreamers, And one of the things I gotta say is that I always, you know, living in the city or living anywhere, I had this story in my head that, shit, I want to meet like-minded people. Like, where are they? Where can I find them? And I met some people there and there, but it was always like, nah, bro, that's not it. And it's funny enough that when you get started on the things that you think are crazy, or when you tune into that deep in your heart, that knowingness, you tune into that and you start it, you meet those people. You meet people dreaming, doing the things that you dream of, and you're like, wow, so you've been here. You've been doing these things, and okay, that's super cool. And it makes sense, because where else can they be? you know? So out there's very fascinating people, so alternative, and doing things that you wouldn't think people are doing, until you step out and experience the world and you see, wow, people are doing that. So I hope, this inspires you to start. I really hope, on top of the love that this journey is for me, the practice of love, I really hope that it can inspire, it can ignite within you your dream to make it happen. Because your dream is the fuel for your soul. And we gotta dream, and on the way we gotta fail, and we gotta experience, and we're gonna laugh, and we're gonna cry. But even just 1 week of showing you guys and documenting this, I can tell you it's worth it. Worth it to give it a go, to try, go for it, to feel all that. Because at the end of the day, what do you lose? But just learning and experiencing and seeing. So whatever you fear, just start with it. And you're gonna see that that was an illusion of your mind. And whatever you're gonna learn, you gotta learn. You will learn. And take it with a perspective that life works for you. Everything is working for you. Even when you're very down, there is something to learn. And there is always something to learn. So when you take on life and you walk it with this perspective of, what can I learn? What will I learn from everything? You will learn so much. You will grow so much, and you will give so much from all these lessons to people that are there, just like this. Just like this. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will, episode 2 coming next week. And I just wrote my newsletter, also why I started this. I didn't talk about it here because it would take a while. And I wanted to maybe make this first episode like tuning into more details, experiences. My purpose with these episodes is to really take you guys with me in this experience, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm sharing 60-second short stories of the days, of the every kilometers and the experiences, and that's really cool, so you guys can go check it out. But if you want to tune in and really experience this journey with me, check it out here on YouTube. I'm gonna be sharing everything with you guys in this season 1, and in these episodes. And we can connect and share so many things and create so many beautiful things together. So welcome to the family, to this community. Thank you for supporting me, guys. And check out my newsletter, subscribe there. I'm writing about anything about walking around the world, what I'm learning. It's a mix of, creative learning, business, also how am I planning to monetize this walk. And I think I'm going to be sharing more and more that in my newsletter, how am I, as a walker, creating content, How am I planning to actually, survive and thrive financially as well, because that's also very important, you know. And so I will be sharing more and more that in my newsletter, documenting the journey on creating something for you guys, writing my first couple of books and creating all the, in a way of a creator economy, creator vision, and also lessons of spirituality of this walk, and lessons of life, lessons of things and philosophies and things. So if you're interested in that, tune in. It will be great to have you. It's copy paste steps on how to do certain things, how to create, how to think, and inspiring stories that will serve you as tools. So it's a great toolkit. Check it out. I posted my first newsletter of the walk. I explain my why, and it can inspire you. It's down in the bio. Check it out, and thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching, tuning in. Check this sunset with me. And the beautiful beach there. Wow. I love you guys.